So, stream is going.
Good evening, Rampage family. Welcome back to Burnsville, Minnesota for Game 3 of the weekend. Third game of the season. Tonight's matchup is going to be against the Minnesota Blue Ox. So, by all accounts, the team that we're playing against tonight should be pretty similar to the teams that we played against in the first two games. Hopefully the boys had a chance to get some food, get some rest, and regroup, and are ready to hit this game hard and do the best they can. Well, the good news with dropping the very first two games of the season is we've got nowhere to go but up from here. So hopefully they're able to pull that off, kind of regroup. We are playing against teams this weekend that have all had quite a few games under their belts already. So we're going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage as far as that goes. And hopefully our boys can just kind of start to gel and work together and get in a little bit of a groove. But as I say every season, win, lose, or draw, I'll be here to let you guys know what I'm seeing going on. Appreciate everybody tuning in who can. Left to warm-up time, and then we'll get going. From what I can see from across the way over here, it appears that we only have two guys in stripes again, which, for anybody out there who knows me at all, knows that I think that that's entirely unacceptable for hockey games at this level. At an absolute minimum, I believe you need two linesmen and a referee as opposed to just two hybrid linesmen referees. But I also know that it does not matter what I think. We are back in the tiny rink, as you probably have noticed. So I'm going to do the best I can with keeping the camera, but this rink is very small and it's really difficult to catch both ends of the ice. And in fact, to my right, the corner close to us on the far right is just downright impossible to see anything. So we'll do the best we can. joining Coach Cody Dion on the bench tonight will be Coach Kevin Patterson, the 14s coach. This is one of those unique weekends where we actually have 14s, 15s, 16s, and 18s all up here playing in the same area. So it's a well-traveled location for the Rampage boys across the board this weekend. So far, the first two games this weekend, we've actually gotten off to good starts, fast starts. Controlled the first couple shifts, but we've yet to get on the board first. So I think that'll be one of the keys to the game today is get off to a quick start, get on the board, and then keep the momentum going. The other key to the game from this lowly observer is it's going to be transitioning out of our zone and into theirs. All right, so at the start for period number one, we've got Drexel, Whitted, Sarver, Wheeler, and Espirito, and I believe we're going to have Liam Holmes back in net tonight. Looks like that's the case. All right, here we go. Period number one. Minnesota wins the draw. Sends it back. Wheeler's going to send it back the other direction. Well, back and forth at neutral ice and into the Rampage zone. Shot on goal. Liam Holmes makes a quick save. Whitted's going to chip it up and out of the zone. He gives chase. A couple of Minnesota players are going to get there in their own zone. Whitted with the steal. He keeps it down in. Johnny Sarver's got it down low. Tries to feed it up top to Drexel. Doesn't connect. Whitted throws it. Minnesota players got it. And now the Minnesota goaltender is going to grab it and hang on to it. So, quick flurry of activity right off the bat. Out on the ice, we've got Wilton, Whittingham, Roberts, Merrill, and Gudanis. Rampage win the draw. Back to the corner. They're going to drop it over to Wilton, to Whittingham. Puck comes out to neutral. Roberts with the steal. He drops it for Wilton. Wilton turns, sends it up to Whittingham. He's into the zone with it. Puck down low in the corner. Looks like Roberts comes off the wall, throws it into the far side corner. Puck gets trapped down low in the corners. Whittingham and Wilton are in there. Wilton throws it up to Gudanis at the point. Gudanis takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. Puck goes way up in the air. Falls back down behind the net. Now Wilton's going to throw it back down low. Gudanis pinching and feeds it to Roberts. Zach Roberts takes a shot. 15:42 into the game. Rampage get on the board first. Nice feed from Max Gudanis down low. 43 with the assist, 82 with the goal. 43? Yeah, it was Gudanis got the assist. 92. It was 82 with the goal. Yep. Out on the ice, we've got McManus, Yevgeny Rohosian, Armani Foster, Kyle Bisley, and Brendan Huff. Minnesota wins the draw. Back into their own zone with it. They're going to turn, send it across ice to the far side. Back up to center, deflected into the Rampage zone. Holmes is going to poke it to the side. Minnesota player blows the tire in the corner. Huff's going to send it up to Rahosian. He's skating through center. He's into the Minnesota zone with it. He holds up on the wall, feeds it up towards Huff, ends up in a skate, and now Minnesota coming back the other way. Minnesota into the Rampage zone, centering pass. Shot goes up and over the net. Liam Holmes didn't make a first save there. Puck comes out. Foster feeds it into the zone. Minnesota recollects, sends it up. They're going to skate through neutral ice now. Into the Rampage zone with it, and they are off sidesies. 14:57 left in period number 1. Rampage up 1-0 on a quick early goal. Just exactly what we wanted to see. Out on the ice, we've got Ian King, Sawyer Jones, Nathan Bender, Alex Espirito, and Blaze Wheeler. Puck into the Rampage zone. Espirito picks it up down low. He feeds it up the wall towards King. Comes off the wall. Sawyer Jones is going to skate with it. Minnesota with it back, and now another steal. Wheeler tries to hold for everybody to tag up, and Rampage end up off sidesies. Same crew out as before. Tied up on the face-off. Puck gets sent back into the Rampage zone now. Wheeler has to get there, sends it up the near side board. And chipped up the boards. Minnesota holds it in. The centering pass gets cleared out to the corner. Sawyer Jones and Espirito in there too in battle. Espirito almost gets his helmet taken off. Play continues. The puck takes a ride around the dasher board. Ian King applying pressure on the forecheck. Puck comes out of the zone. Wheeler turns, and he dumps it back in. We do not have delayed offsides here. So it is offsidesies on the Rampage. Out on the ice, we've got Drexel, Whitted, Sarver, Gudanis, and Merrill. Rampage win the draw. Sarver's going to chip it off the boards. It's into the zone. Minnesota's on it, back behind their net. They send it up the near side boards, and now out again. Gudanis has to race. He's got a man on him. He holds up at the boards. Drexel chips it up, not out. Minnesota picks it up, sends a pass cross ice to the far side. Puck comes up. Minnesota sends a shot that deflects off of a stick, bounces back out in front, and the Minnesota Blue Ox get on the board with 13:26 left in period number 1. Tie it up 1-1. Out on the ice, we've got Nick Wilton, Jack Whittingham, Zach Roberts, Kyle Bisley, and Brendan Huff. Whittingham pulls it out of the pile. He's going to send it into the zone. Down low. Minnesota picks it up back behind their own net. Puck comes out of the zone to neutral ice. Player trips up on it, and a little back and forth. Nobody knows where the puck is. Nick Wilton's going to pick it up. He sends it into the Minnesota zone, and then it comes right back out again. Brendan Huff drops it, and now Minnesota's going to pick it up. They're into the zone, take a shot. Holmes with the save. Puck tied up down low. Bisley's going to send it up the wall. Minnesota holds it at the point. Shot taken, deflects off of a stick and hits the roof. And out of play. 12:41 left in period number 1. Out on the ice, we've got McManus, Foster, Rahosian, Espirito, and Wheeler. Rampage win the draw. Espirito has to get there. He sends it around the other side. Minnesota player is going to hold it on the wall, sends it to the point. Shot taken from the point is going to sail just up and over top shelf. So with 12:31 left in the first period, the Blue Ox go up 2-1. Out on the ice, we've got Ian King, Sawyer Jones, Nathan Bender, Alex Espirito, and Blaze Wheeler. Rampage win the draw. Comes back to Wheeler in his own zone. He sends it up towards Sawyer Jones, who has to pick it up. Tries to send it towards Nathan Bender, Minnesota player with the steal. Espirito with a nice check up against the boards there. Puck comes out to Bender. He's going to shovel it up but not out. Minnesota with the steal takes a shot off of a boot. Now Bender's got it. He's going to skate with it. Takes the zone. Could have been icing, but they wave it off. Play will continue. Puck comes out to neutral ice now. Little back and forth, and we've got what would have been a hand pass, but Minnesota touched it first. Minnesota back into the Rampage zone with it. Shot taken, Holmes with the save. Puck comes back out front, ends up in the far side corner. Minnesota picks it up. They feed it up to the point. Shot taken, Bender gets a body in the way, and the puck's going to come up and out of the zone. Minnesota has to regroup back in their own zone with it. They've got it back behind their own net now. Minnesota into the Rampage zone with the puck. Shot taken, Holmes with the save. Comes up top to the circle. Carter Drexel picks it up. Sends it up but not out, and now Merrill's going to ride it out into the neutral zone. Drexel picks it up. He's going to skate with it to the far side into the Minnesota zone. Skates down low, drops it on the boards, and now it comes back to Drexel. He skates out front, takes a shot, goes wide of the net. Puck skates past, and now Gudanis has to race back to get it in his own zone. And we have a penalty coming to Minnesota. .10:40 left in period number 1, and we've got a Rampage power play coming up. Looks like to start the power play, we've got Whitted, Drexel, Sarver, Espirito, and Wheeler. Rampage win the draw, comes over to Drexel, sends it up to Wheeler. He feeds it back down the boards. Player on. Drexel gets upended. And now the puck's going to come out to neutral ice. Espirito has to hustle back to get it. A little back and forth at neutral ice again. Drexel's going to skate into the zone with it, sends it over just out of the reach of Sarver. Sarver kicks it up the boards to Wheeler. Wheeler at the point. Takes a shot from up high, goes off the goaltender, ends up in the corner. Sarver back to Wheeler. It's going to come out of the zone on him. Espirito picks it up on the far side. Has to wait for everybody to tag up. Sends it back to Wheeler. Wheeler up to Whitted. Deflects off his stick and into the zone. He was on this side of the line. That's subjective, and I disagree, but it was subjective. Minute 12 left on the power play for the Rampage boys. 9:51 in the period. Out on the ice, we've got Zach Roberts. Sorry, I lost sight of who everybody was. We got Gudanis, Rahosian, Whittingham, Roberts, and Merrill. Comes around to the near side. Roberts upends the referee. Shouldn't have been standing there. Merrill's going to pick it up. He skates out from behind his net. Gudanis sends it across to Rahosian. He's going to skate into the zone with it. He's down into the Minnesota zone. Holds up, sends it. Looks like Minnesota sends it up and out of the zone. It's going to go the distance. That'll be icing, be a face-off back in the Minnesota zone with 9:17 left in the period. 38 seconds left on the power play for the Rampage boys. Puck tied up, ends up down in the corner. Minnesota sends it off the wall and out of the zone. Merrill has to hustle back to get it in his own zone, sends it across to Rahosian. He's going to skate with it. Into the zone. Whittingham has to wait for everybody to tag up. And it looks like we were still, everybody got tagged up, and then we ended up offside Z's. 20 seconds left of power play time, 8:59 in the period. Out on the ice, we've got Wilton, McManus, Foster, Huff, and Bisley. Rampage come up with it. Foster skates it into the zone, and then Minnesota send it back out. McManus is still tied up with a player that had him in a leg lock. Sends it across ice and down, and that got touched up at the line and was not icing, but we get an icing whistle, so the faceoff's going to come back into the Rampage zone. Four seconds left on the power play. Same crew out as before. Tied up on the draw. Foster's going to pick it up. He chips it up and out of the zone. Minnesota back at full strength. Puck comes out. Huff sends it over to Bisley. Bisley chips it, goes off a body back into the Rampage zone. Holmes has to come out and play it. Play it with a high stick. Played off of a stick up above his head. No, can't do that. Puck comes up but not out of the zone, and now Minnesota's gonna skate it out of the zone, let everybody tag up. Bisley feeds it up and out. Minnesota tries to chip it back in, and now they do so. Huff is gonna go back and pick it up in the corner. He skates around to the near side, loses the handle. Quick shot by Minnesota. Holmes with a couple of quick saves. Now Foster's going to chip it up and out of the zone. Minnesota picks it up and neutral ice, sends it across to the far side. They feed it up. We're skating through. Up with a big body. Minnesota's coming into the zone. And now we got Jones and Wheeler tying the player up in the corner. Puck comes out. Shot taken. Holmes with another save. Foster with the check. Puck goes around to the far side. Minnesota feeds it to center. Attempts to kick it. Holmes is going to cover it up and stop the play. What's that? That's not a shot on goal. I mean, it shouldn't have been a goal because he kicked it if it had gone in, so I don't think so. But puck takes a roll around the far side over there. Minnesota picks it up back behind their own net, feeds it out front. Esperito's going to knock it to the near side. King is in the mix, and now puck gets sent to the far side. Wheeler's going to have to do battle with a player from Minnesota on the far side. Esperito picks it up, skates it back behind the net, sends it to the other side. Jones kicks it up the wall. Minnesota holds it in. A little bit of back and forth. Jones is going to pick it up. He skates it out of the zone. Goes to Wheeler, who takes the red line and then chips it in off of Sawyer Jones. Unfortunate friendly fire there. Sawyer looks like he's hurting, which I don't blame him. Puck comes out to Ian King. Still in the zone, and now Minnesota's going to pick it up. They're skating back the other way. Into the Rampage zone with it. Merrill sends it up and out of the zone. Whitted tries to pick it up, gets a stick lifted, and Minnesota turns it, dumps it back into the Rampage zone. King sends it up the boards. Whitted's going to pick it up. He's going to skate with it. Skates to center ice and gets poke checked. Minnesota sends it back the other way. Dumps it into the zone. Little tie up back behind the net. Merrill's going to get it. Sends it up the boards to Sarver. Chip, and the puck doesn't end up going anywhere, so now it gets tied up. Gudanis picks it up. Just can't get the puck to go anywhere. Sarver sends it up, but not out. Minnesota managed to hold it in the zone. Gudanis with the hit. Whitted's going to send it up, but not out. Minnesota dumps it back in. We just cannot clear our zone. Merrill sends it up to Drexel. Whitted with the poke check. He's going to take it out of the zone now. Tries to send it across to Sarver and just doesn't have anything on it. Minnesota comes back the other way. They're back in the Rampage zone. Shot taken, and Holmes with the save. Sarver picks it up down low in the corner. rims it around the boards. Actually, it goes off the referee, who's been in the way a lot tonight. Bisley has to pick it up, sends it out to neutral ice, and then it's going to come back to Drexel, who takes a knee-to-knee, no call. Play continues. Minnesota gets it back. They're in the neutral zone. They have to tag up into the Rampage zone. Drexel's going to pick it up. He turns, he skates with it. Takes the red line, and he's going to dump it in. Roberts is going to give chase. He's got Whittingham on the far side applying pressure. Minnesota brings it up and out. Nick Wilton gets in there and dumps it back in. Minnesota has to go for it back behind their own net. Send it up to the near side. And unable to clear for the moment. Puck still in the Minnesota zone. Minnesota has it. They're going to skate through neutral ice. Feeds it to center. Turn and a shot taken. Whittingham's going to clear it. And we must have a penalty coming on Minnesota. Well, no, we must have a penalty coming on us, but we touched it. And they didn't blow the whistle the first time when we touched up and cleared it. No surprise, these refs are just as bad as the first two games. 3:50 left in period number 1. And Rampage are going to go on the penalty kill due to a hooking call against Blaze Wheeler. At least I believe that's what he signaled. Out on the ice, we've got Wilton, McManus, Merrill, and Espirito. Minnesota wins the draw, tied up on the boards. Kick it across to the far side point. Back to center. Shot taken, Holmes with the stave. Secondary shot, Holmes gets a piece of that one as well. Puck comes through to the near side boards. Minnesota feeds it up to the blue line. Cross to the far side. Merrill picks it up down low. He's going to tries to send it, goes off a body, stays in the zone. Minnesota picks it right back up down low. They feed it up to the point, walk in the blue line, send it across to the far side. Across to the near side circle, shot taken. Espirito gets a body in the way. Shot taken from up high, gets deflected wide of the net. Fed to the far side. Minnesota feeds it up to the far side point. Over here, closer to me, takes a shot from up high, gets deflected, and Liam Holmes gets a piece of it, sends it wide. Minnesota still with the puck. They're going to control it on this side of the board, send it cross ice to the far side point. Through center, gets deflected, ends up in the near side corner. Just 45 seconds left on the penalty kill for the Rampage boys. Minnesota has been controlling this power play pretty well so far. Minnesota feeds it to the far side. Sends it up high. Shot taken. Wilton gets a body in the way. Got some tired penalty killers out there, but they're doing a good job sacrificing their body to block shots. And you do love to see that. Shot taken. Goes through. Liam Holmes puts it in his glove, and he's going to hang on. Nice penalty kill by the tired fellas out there. Did a good job hanging in, not giving up on it. Just 13 seconds left to penalty kill time. Out on the ice, we've got Foster, Rohosian, Udonis, and Bisley. Minnesota wins the draw. They're going to kick it up to the point on the near side. Feed it across. Shot taken. Goes off of a boot up and over the net. Comes up to the point. Shot taken. Holmes with the save. He's going to hang on. Rampage are back at full strength. 1:42 left in period number 1. Score is currently 2-1 in favor of the Minnesota Blue Ox. Out on the ice, we've got McManus, Rohosian, Foster, Huff, and Wheeler. Minnesota wins the draw. They're going to send it out to neutral ice. Armani Foster giving chase on the forecheck. Getting all tongue-tied again. That is a job hazard. Minnesota in the Rampage zone with it. They've got it down low in the corner. Comes out front. Rohosian's going to send it back out to the far side. Now it comes to the near side. Rohosian gets a boot in the way. Just about does the splits to get his foot in the way of that shot. A lot of traffic out front. Wheeler picks it up. Gets poke checked. Turns back around. Shot. Liam Holmes gets the first one, and the Minnesota player is there to pick up his own rebound and put it in the second shot. 1:03 left in period number 1. The Minnesota Blue Ox go up 3-1. Out on the ice, we've got Sawyer Jones, Nathan Bender, Ian King, Max Gudanis, and Ian Merrill. Minnesota wins the draw, or at least they come up with it. Sawyer Jones is going to skate it back in. He gets tripped up on the way. No call. Sawyer Jones with a shot. Actually, there was a call. He missed his arm up in the air. So with 52 seconds left in period number 1, Rampage are going to go on the power play. Out on the ice, we're going to have Jack Whittingham, Zach Roberts, Yevgeny Rohosian, Max Gudanis, and Ian Merrill. Minnesota wins the draw. Send it around the boards to the near side. Puck's now going to come out. Whittingham has to chase after it. He turns around with it. He's going to skate, makes a quick move, and then Minnesota's going to take that puck away. Minnesota sends it cross ice to the far side. They're going to skate in the Rampage zone. Whittingham gets a body in front of that shot, and now he's going to pick it up. Whittingham sends it up to Rohosian. He's skating into the zone with it, takes a shot, goaltender makes a save, he's going to hang on. 13 seconds left in period number 1, 1:21 on the power play. We'll get a face-off in the Minnesota zone. Out on the ice, we've got Sarver, Drexel, Whitted, Wheeler, and Espirito. Rampage win the draw. Back to Wheeler at the point. He sends it across to Espirito. Goes through his stick. Comes out of the zone. He has to regroup. Tie it up on the boards. And time expires on period number 1. So your score after 1 is 3-1 in favor of the Minnesota Blue Ox. When we come back for period 2, Rampage will have 1 minute and 8 seconds left of power play time remaining. Coach Dion talking to the boys. Hopefully getting them fired up. Got a good start in this game and then really kind of let the momentum shift from there the other direction. So as we come out for period number 2, minute and 8 left on the power play, and on the ice we've got Sarver, Whitted, Drexel, Wheeler, and Espirito. Rampage come up with it off the draw. Espirito's going to pick it up. He skates back in his zone, sends it across to Wheeler. Wheeler up to Drexel, feeds it into the zone. Minnesota turns and fires it back out. Wheeler's going to pick it up back in his own zone. Gets tied up on the boards. He turns and skates with it. He's going to skate out of the zone through neutral into the Minnesota zone. He takes a shot. gets deflected. It ends up in the goaltender's glove. He's going to hang on. 44 seconds left of power play time. Faceoff will be in the Minnesota zone. Same crew out as before. Rampage win the draw. Back to Espirito. He drops it for Drexel. Drexel's going to turn with it. Feeds it back to Espirito. Poke check. Sends it out of the zone. Espirito has to hustle to get back onto it. Puck in the Rampage zone now. Battle in the corner. Espirito picks it up down low. He feeds it over to Wheeler. Wheeler to Drexel. Drexel's going to skate with it through neutral into the Rampage zone. He holds up, gets pushed down into the boards. Play continues. Whitted pulls it off the boards. A little bit of back and forth. Shot taken, doesn't make it through. Minnesota picks it up, feeds it to the player coming out of the box for a breakaway. Nice stop by Liam Holmes to save the day there. Minnesota with the puck back. They dump it back into the Rampage zone. Puck comes up and out of the zone. Whitted picks it up. He skates it into the zone, feeds it out in front, just outside the reach of Carter Drexel. Puck goes into the far corner now. Battle down low for the puck. Johnny Sarver's in there as well. Minnesota's going to come out with it. Send it up to the point, cross ice to the far side. Minnesota holds up at the point, feeds it to center, gets in Gudonis' stick, or skates. Doesn't end up coming out of the zone apparently. Still in the Rampage zone. Minnesota feeds it down low, centering pass, and Holmes is going to cover that up. .14:44 left in period number 3. Score is still 3-1 in favor of the Blue Ox. Out on the ice, we've got Whittingham, Roberts, can't see everybody, Nick Wilton, Bisley, and Huff. Rampage come up with it. They're going to skate it out of the zone. Roberts has got it. He's through neutral. He's into the Minnesota zone with it down low. Nick Wilton feeds it towards center. Roberts gets there, takes a backhand shot. Little extracurricular after the whistle. And just so you know, this kid right here has a terrible attitude. I'm going to follow him on his way back to the bench. Pointing at the scoreboard, throwing shots at people after the whistle. People who aren't even anywhere near his goaltender. Can't fix bad attitudes, folks. And I'm going to call people out for it. So I'm getting a little salty this weekend. Puck comes up and out of the zone. Brendan Huff's going to come back. He sends it across towards Roberts, who's going to turn and dump it in. Puck back behind the Minnesota net. They pick it up behind their own net, feed it to the near side wall. Minnesota's going to skate through neutral into the Rampage zone with it. Shot deflects just wide of the net, and now it's going to come up to the near side wall. Another shot. Holmes has that one in his glove. He's going to hang on. So we get a stoppage. We'll have a face-off down in the Minnesota zone. 13:57 left in period number 2. Out on the ice, we've got Wheeler, Rahosian, McManus, Foster, and Espirito. Rampage come up with it, center around the boards to the far side. It's up and out of the zone. Minnesota has to come back for it. Foster with the steal at center, and then he's going to dump it into the zone. Takes a hit well after the puck was gone. That's just the way tonight's going to go, I guess. Puck gets knocked down center ice, and we got a hand pass call, looks like. So we get a stoppage. 13:34. The face-off's going to be just outside the Rampage zone, I believe. Out on the ice, Rahosian, McManus, Wheeler, Espirito, and Foster. Minnesota wins the draw. They send it over to the near side, into the Rampage zone with it. Rolls around the boards to the far side corner. Espirito doing battle down low. Minnesota picks up the puck, sends it up front. Shot taken. Liam Holmes with the save. He has it in his glove. He's going to hang on. Out on the ice, we've got Jones, Bender, Gudanis, Merrill, and King. Rampage come up with the draw. Gudanis gets there, sends it up to Bender. Jones sends it across to Gudanis. He's into the zone with it, just overskates it. Now Minnesota turns it the other way, sends it up and out. Ian Merrill picks it up. Lost side of the puck, down in the corner, still in the Rampage zone. Couple of shots. I think there were 2 shots on that one. Holmes makes saves on both. Minnesota walks the blue line, takes a shot, deflects wide, and I believe the net comes off, so we get a stoppage. Out on the ice, we've got Sarver, Drexel, Whitted, Huff, and Bisley. 12:37 left in the second period. Tied up on the draw. Minnesota comes out with it, takes a shot. Holmes gets the first save, and then the player picks up his own rebound, puts it up and over. So out on the ice, we got Roberts, Wilton, Whittingham, Wheeler, and Espirito. Minnesota wins the draw, sends it in the Rampage zone. Puck comes across the near side. Wheeler's gonna send it up the boards and out. Roberts can't quite get there. Minnesota sends it back into their own zone. They collect it down low, send it out front and across the other side. Deflects up and out of the zone. Wheeler has to regroup with it. Sends it to Whittingham. Whittingham picks it up. He's going to turn and skate. Comes up and out of the zone with it. Tied up on the near side boards. Sent in deep into the Rampage zone now. Espirito sends it up the boards, not out. Minnesota holds at the blue line. Espirito turns, sends it up and out. Roberts is going to get there, but he's got a man on. Tries to send it across. Puck comes to Wilton. Takes a shot. Nick Wilton picks up the puck as it comes back to him. Very nice shot. Hits the post on the far side and deflects in. So with 11:27, Rampage cut the lead to 2. So Minnesota with a 4-2 lead. Out on the ice, we've got Rahosian, McManus, Foster, Merrill, and Gudanis. What's that? It was McManus. So, I'm sorry, it was McManus, 92 from, it was either Whittingham or Roberts. Yeah. Puck in the Rampage zone. Sorry, we're trying to keep track of stats over here. We got a little sidetracked. A lot of chaos in front of the net. Rahosian's going to pick it up. Can't quite clear it out. And a stick check by Ian Merrill. He's going to skate it out through center. He's into the zone, and then a poke check. Gudonis with a really big hit right in front of me. Merrill's going to turn, sends it to Gudonis. Puck comes up, and now Minnesota has it back in the neutral zone. They take the red line. They're going to send it in on net. Deflects off of Holmes's blocker. Comes out to Rahosian. He turns. He skates with it. He's going to send it around the other side boards. Not out. Minnesota holds it in, feeds it down low. Gudonis has to get there. He tries to chip it up off the boards. Now it's up and out. Foster's going to get there. He's into the zone, turns and fires on the backhand. Doesn't connect. Minnesota picks it up, sends it back out of the zone. Gudonis sends it back up. A little bit of back and forth. Ian King joined in the play now. He gets in there up against the boards. Puck tied up where I can't see it. Looks like it's going to come out to Sawyer Jones, who skates with it. Can't quite get into the zone with it. Again, back and forth. Foster's going to chip it into the Minnesota zone. Held up at neutral ice. Minnesota has it. They take the red line, send it in off of Nathan Bender, and so it drops. Bisley picks it up, fires it across to the far side. Comes back again. Bisley has to get there. He turns, sends it out of the zone, back into the zone. That was offsides. But it happened right in front of the ref, so he clearly couldn't see it. Regardless, puck back in the Rampage zone. Shot from the point gets deflected wide of the net. Ends up in the far side corner. Bisley down low doing battle with a couple of players from Minnesota. Got Sawyer Jones in there as well. Turn, shot taken. Ends up wide, and now the puck ends up on the far side, taken right along the dasher board and ends up out of the zone. Minnesota picks it up, sends it to the near side, and then fires it in. Brendan Huff picks it up back by his own net, sends it to the far wall. Minnesota turns it around at neutral ice and a little back and forth, and now it's into the Rampage zone. Bisley picks it up and sends it up and in. Player blows a tire. Drexel's going to pick it up, sends the puck wide and rolls up the boards to the near side. Esperito holds it momentarily. Now Minnesota picks it up and Drexel with the takeaway. Whitted's got it. Minnesota pokes it back the other way. Whitted with a poke check to tie up a player at neutral ice. Minnesota's offsides by 1.5 miles, but it doesn't matter because Minnesota is offsides, and we're at 8:01 in the second period, so we're going into the ice cut. So when we come back, the face-off will be just outside the Rampage zone. Score is 4-2. We'll have 8 minutes and 1 second left in period number 2. I'm going to go on mute for a little while and leave the video rolling, so we'll talk to you guys in about 10 minutes or so. right, folks, welcome back to the second half. 8:01 left in the second period when we get started again. Face-off should be just outside the Rampage zone. Boys are down 4-2. And definitely have a hole to dig themselves out of, so we'll see if really at this point, you know, what we want to try to take away from the weekend are all the positives that we can, as far as, you know, see how they respond after being down a couple of goals halfway through the game, things like that, and you know, just see what kind of character they can build on, what kind of things they can do right. We, I think across the board on the weekend, we've been, you know, on the positive side of our face-off wins. You know, there's some things we can take away from. Had some good plays. We've had a couple of our scorers get points on the board. We just got to figure out how to build from there and figure out how to respond. I can tell you right now, these kids we're playing against, they're not good kids, but they're not going to get any nicer. Not going to get any nicer, not going to get any more polite. I don't know what that was all about, but one of their players just had a run-in with Zach Stahl in front of our net. But they're not going to do anything about any of it, so we're in Minnesota. We're playing against, you know, kind of bratty, rotten little Minnesota kids. No offense to any of you out there watching who are from Minnesota. I don't think that's true about everybody, but certainly this team. Out on the ice, we've got Sarver, Whitted, Drexel, Espirito, and Wheeler. Face-off will be just outside the Rampage zone. 8:01 left in period number 2. Minnesota wins the draw, sends it across to the near side. They're going to dump it into the zone. Comes back up and out. Minnesota's going to have to regroup and tag up. They send it across to the far side into the zone. Espirito gets a body in the way. Now centering pass. Minnesota player with it down low in the corner. They're going to skate up, walk the blue line, take a shot from up high. And I'm sorry, I said Zach Stahl. That's Liam Holmes in net. He turns it aside. Puck comes up, not out of the zone, and I can't see it. It's up against this near wall. It's going to come out of the zone now. Minnesota's coming back for it. No icing play will continue. Johnny Sarver on the forecheck. Minnesota turns with it. They're going to send it up and through traffic. That should go for icing, and does. So we get a whistle. Face-off will be back in the Minnesota zone with 7:10 left in period number 2. Getting some fresh legs out on the ice. We've got Roberts, Wilton, Whittingham, Merrill, and Gudanis. Minnesota wins the draw. They send it up and out. Gudanis is going to get there, turns it around. Wilton drops it to center. Nobody home. Minnesota's going to pick it up. They fire it in from up high, back behind the net. Down on the near side wall now. Puck's still in the Rampage zone. Goes to the far side corner where Merrill gets there. Gets tied up down low, and a Minnesota player comes up with it. Wilton's going to chip it up and over and give chase. Sends it out. Roberts has to wait, and Rampage are pretty clearly offsidesies. Face-off comes out to center ice. We've got Rahosian, McManus, Foster, Bisley, and Huff. Minnesota wins the draw. They're going to send it into the Rampage zone. Huff chips it back behind him. Puck gets stuck on the wall. Comes out to center to a Minnesota player who turns and sends a shot up and over. Another shot, and Holmes makes the save. Puck goes up the wall on the far side. Big hit put against Armani Foster. Minnesota turns and sends it the distance. I don't know why that wasn't icing. Huff is going to chip it up. Foster turns, sends it, and now McManus sends it out of the zone. Puck tied up on the far side wall at neutral ice there. Gets dumped back in behind the Rampage net. Huff gets there. He's going to send it up off the glass. Goes off of a glove of Minnesota. It's going to come all the way back into the Minnesota zone. They hold up back behind their net. They send it up and out. Goes off the stick and into the Rampage zone. Puck comes up to the point, not out. Minnesota holds it in. Centering pass. Ends up in the near side corner. Rohosian picks it up. He turns. He's going to skate with it. Comes out of the zone. Makes a move. He's into the zone. Takes a shot. Fires it wide. Sawyer Jones pinching in. Holds it in the zone. Minnesota is going to knock it down. Sawyer Jones applying pressure on the forecheck, and Minnesota's going to send it the distance, and that goes for icing. So we're going to face off back in the Minnesota zone with exactly 5 minutes left in the second period. Out on the ice, Nathan Bender, Sawyer Jones, Ian King, Blaze Wheeler, and Alex Espirito. Rampage win the draw, but Minnesota's going to jump it real quick. They skated out of the zone. Espirito with a poke check to turn it around. A little back and forth at neutral zone. Ends up in the Rampage zone. A little back and forth, still in the Rampage zone. Now a poke check, and Espirito's going to skate with it. Takes the red line and dumps it in. Goaltender holds it up back behind the net, and Minnesota turns and fires up but not out, and now they're going to skate with it. 2-on-1 into the Rampage zone. Espirito's there. Shot. Holmes gets a leg pad on it. Sawyer Jones is going to pick it up. He sends it over to Bender. Bender skates, takes the red line, and sends it in. Now it's going to bounce in front of the goaltender, who covers it up. We get a whistle. We'll have a face-off in the Minnesota zone. 4:17 left in period number 2. On the ice, we've got Drexel, Whitted, Sarver, Gudanis, and Merrill. Puck comes over to the side, down to Johnny Sarver down low, feeds it, tries to feed it through. Now comes to the far side. Minnesota chips it up and out. Merrill has to get in a foot race. He's doing battle on the far side wall, sends it up, comes out of the zone. No icing. Johnny Sarver's going to give chase. And a little back and forth. Drexel picks it up. Sarver has to tag up. Drexel's back into the zone, onside. Shot taken. Goaltender makes the save. Comes up to Merrill. Merrill takes a shot from the point. Sails high and over the net. Puck down low in the corner. Goes to the other side. Minnesota with it. Up the wall and out of the zone now. Gudanis has to come back, pick it up. Sends it off the boards into the zone. And Rampage are offside. I've got a nephew watching who likes to correct me, and he tells me that it is offside as opposed to offsides. So I'm trying. Out on the ice, we've got Roberts, Whittingham, Wilton, Huff, and Bisley. Rampage win the zone. Back to Huff. Fans on the pass and then sends a secondary pass. Minnesota turns around, dumps it back into the Rampage zone. Goes into the far corner. Comes up the wall. Wilton's got it. He sends it off the boards. Roberts wrangles it in and then dumps it into the zone. Whittingham's going to chase it into the corner. Puck comes up to the point. Huff sends it down low. Minnesota sends it to the far side. Shot in from the point. Goaltender makes a save. Minnesota's going to clear. They're into the Rampage zone. Puck goes down low. Minnesota's got it. They feed it up top to the far side point. Back down low again. Comes out, gets caught in some skates. Now comes back out to the point for Minnesota. Shot taken. I couldn't see if it got deflected wide or if Holmes got a piece of it. Play continues. Minnesota with it in the far corner. Walk the blue line. Shot taken. Deflects. Ends up wide of the net. Puck still in the Rampage zone. Minnesota's going to pick it up. Around to the near side. Can't really see it down low. It's going to roll around to the far side. Wilton's going to get there. And then Rampage unable to clear. Minnesota keeping it in the zone. Bisley's got it. He turns, sends it up off the glass, outside the zone. Minnesota turns it back around now, back into the zone. Centering pass, and that's a steal. Comes up to Roberts. He's going to skate with it. Takes the red line, whiffs on the dump in. Roberts is going to go for a change. Minnesota picks up the puck. They turn, skating back the other direction into the Rampage zone. Send it in, goes off of Holmes' blocker and up and out of play. So with 1:28 left in period number 2, .128 left in the period. Out on the ice, we've got McManus, Foster, Rohosian, sorry, I can't see everybody's number right now. Puck down low. Espirito is going to turn, sends it, and then Wheeler's the other player on the ice right now. Shot, goes off a body, ends up on the near side wall again. Another shot, and Holmes is going to cover that one up.
Was that behind it?
I think it was to the side.
Covering it is on the shot.
1:08 left in period number 2. Puck goes out to the far side there. Minnesota's going to get it and hold it in. They dump it down low in the zone.
Face off, we lost it.
And Wheeler with it. He chips it up and out of the zone. Minnesota sends it back. Transitions back into the zone. They all tag up, get on sides. Feed it across to the far side. Man closing on the back door. So with 45 seconds left, Minnesota Blue Ox go up 5-2. Out on the ice, we've got Nathan Bender, Sawyer Jones, Ian King, Max Gudanis, and Ian Merrill. They just love tossing us out of the face-offs. They're happy to ignore everything going on by Minnesota. Shot comes in, goaltender makes the save. Sawyer Jones down there to do battle. He's got Ian King with him. A couple of Minnesota players. Minnesota players skating with it. Up and out of the zone. Merrill takes it away, feeds it over. It ends up right on the stick of a Minnesota player. Gudanis with a poke check. Ian King feeds it out to the middle there, and Minnesota picks it up, keeps it in the zone. 9 seconds left in the period. Minnesota takes a shot from up high, goes wide of the net, ends up on the far side wall. And time expires on period number 2. So your score after 2 is 5-2 in favor of the Minnesota Blue Ox. Sorry, I got an errant goal on there. Trying to change the period number here. All right, here we go for period number 3. Like to see the Rampage boys at least just win this period. Try to figure out a little momentum. Out on the ice, we've got Carter Drexel, Boone Whitted, Johnny Sarver, Alex Espirito, and Blaze Wheeler. Rampage win the draw. Over to Espirito to Wheeler. Cross ice to Drexel. He's going to deflect it. Goes off of a player in the bench. Minnesota. Faceoff should be at neutral ice, center ice, excuse me, and it is. Tied up on the draw. It's anybody's puck. Rampage are going to send it into the zone. Sarver picks it up, takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. Sarver chases it down low, sends it up to Espirito. Puck tied up on the near side wall where I cannot see it. Over to Espirito. Whitted takes a check from behind, and we do get a whistle. Player throwing his head back as if he doesn't know you can't cross-check somebody from behind in the numbers. So with 16:29 left in period number 3, Rampage are going to be on the power play. It looks like we got the same crew out that was just out. Tied up on the draw. Rampage come up with it, send it over to Espirito on the far point there. Drexel's got it down low. He's on the wall. Puck gets sent deep into the Rampage zone. Wheeler's got to race back for it. He's got a player on. Drexel picks it up on the wall. He kicks it off to Espirito. Espirito picks it up down low, sends it over to Sarver. Sarver cross ice to Wheeler. Wheeler's going to skate through neutral ice into the zone. Drexel picks it up down low, sends it to Sarver. Sarver feeds it across to the far side. Minnesota now clear the zone with it. Comes out to a Minnesota player who's going to fire a shot from neutral ice. Holmes grabs it. He's going to drop it, play over to the side. Espirito sends it over to Wheeler. Wheeler up to Sarver. Sarver feeds it up towards Whittingham. It deflects off of somebody, so play continues. Rahosian knocks it down, keeps it in the zone. Puck comes up to Merrill. Merrill feeds it through, goes just wide of the net. And Minnesota sends it the distance. This ought to be icing, and it is. So 15:07 left in the period. We got 38 seconds left on the power play. Faceoff will be back in the Minnesota zone. Out on the ice, we've got Roberts, Whittingham, Rahosian, Gudanis, and Merrill. Rampage win the draw, comes up to Merrill at the point. He feeds it across. Whittingham backhands it towards the goaltender, gets sent aside, and now Minnesota's going to send it the distance again. That's going to be icing, and it is indeed. So we get another face-off back in the Minnesota zone. 14:53 left in the period, 24 seconds left of power play time. Same crew out that was just out. Rampage win the draw, send it over to Gudanis on the near side, makes a quick move, takes a shot. Goalie gets a leg pad on it. Whittingham up to Gudanis. Gudanis takes another shot, goes off a body, ends up in the far corner. Rahosian turns, picks it up. He's going to drop it down low. Whittingham gets in there, slips the jab, and now he's going to send it back behind the net where Roberts picks it up, feeds it up to Gudanis, goes through his stick, and now it's going to come out of the zone. Merrill's got a hustle, no icing. Minnesota's back at full strength. Merrill drops the puck. Minnesota picks it up. And Holmes is there to make a save. Gudanis sends the puck up. Puck comes out. Minnesota's offsides. Earlier in the game today, they would have called that intentional and sent the face-off all the way down to the other end, but definitely no consistency. 14:11 left in the game. We've got McManus, Foster, and Wilton out on the ice. with Huff and Bisley on the back end. Minnesota sends it in the zone. Holmes holds it up. Huff gets there. Puck comes up, gets sent back to the far side. Huff chips it up the boards. Minnesota pinching in, holds it. Puck slides through to the near side wall. Goes down low, comes up front, no shot taken. Minnesota is going to hold it up. They turn, send it into the corner. Huff gets there, chips it up the wall. Puck still not out. McManus has to come back for it. Skates back behind his own net. Gets checked to the head with an elbow. Play will continue, no penalties assessed. Wilton's going to pick it up. He's into the zone. Nick Wilton makes a move, takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. And I'm not sure what just happened. The ref came out. Looked like he was handing something to Nick Wilton. I don't know. The net must have come off. 13:06 left in the game. We've got Sawyer Jones, Ian King, Nathan Bender, Alex Espirito, and Blaze Wheeler on the ice. Shot taken. Goaltender makes a save. Sawyer Jones with some excellent pressure. We've got the linesman rushing in as we had a Minnesota player that just wouldn't leave Nathan Bender the heck alone. Gets a slashing penalty, so Bender comes back to the bench smiling. Apparently, Minnesota player had a crush on young Nathan. All right, out on the ice for the power play with 12:53 left in the game. We've got Sarver, Whitted, Drexel, Espirito, and Wheeler. Rampage win the draw, send it up to Wheeler at the point. He's going to skate with it. He drops it for Drexel. Drexel turns, sends it back in down low. Goes to a Minnesota player. They send it up, clear it out. Wheeler has to regroup at neutral ice. Cross to Espirito. Espirito back to Wheeler. Wheeler sends it up to Sarver. Poke check at neutral ice. Little back and forth. Puck goes to Whitted, sends it up for Drexel. Gets poked off his stick. Whitted makes a move. And Rampage are offside. $12:18 left in the game. 1:26 left on the power play. Fresh set of power play skaters out there. We've got Whittingham, Rohosian, Roberts, Merrill, and Gudanis. A little back and forth. Puck ends up in the Minnesota zone. Sent out of the zone, deflected up into the Rampage bench. Faceoff will be just outside the Minnesota zone. 1:20 left at power play time. Rampage come up with a draw. Gudanis is going to knock it down. He drops it for Merrill. Merrill sends it over to Rohosian. He makes a move. He's going to dump it in to the zone. Gudanis pinching in, down low. Puck comes up. Roberts is there. Puck still in the zone. And we got a penalty coming up on Zach Roberts, apparently. I truly could not see it as it happened down where I couldn't see, indicating a slash. So for the next minute and one, we're going to be 4-on-4. 11:53 left in the game. Faceoff's going to come back down to the Rampage zone. Out on the ice, Rohosian, Whittingham, Gudanis, and Merrill. Tied up on the draw, gets poked out to the near side wall. Minnesota comes up with control. Rohosian's going to get there. He skates it out of the zone. 4-on-4 for the next little bit here. Into the zone. Puck ends up on Gudanis' stick, who sends it across. Whittingham's there. Rohosian picks it up. Sends it up and out. Merrill's going to knock it down. And then Minnesota's going to dump it into the Rampage zone. Whittingham sends it across to Rahosian on the far side. He gives it to Merrill. Merrill's going to turn and skate with it. Merrill's through neutral. Whittingham trying to get back on sides, and he gets interfered with, so he can't tag up, which is actually interference. But there's no call other than a whistle for offsidesies. 17 seconds left of 4-on-4 time. We've got Nick Wilton, Dylan McManus, Brendan Huff, and Kyle Bisley on the ice. Rampage come up with it. Wilton's into the zone with it. He skates to the near side. Down low, back behind the net now. Up to McManus, takes a shot. Doesn't make it through. Puck now comes out. Brendan Huff has it. And we've got about a minute of Rampage on penalty kill. Minnesota dumps it into the zone. It's going to go down deep. They drop it to the corner. Shot taken. Holmes with a couple of nice saves there. Shot taken. Holmes with the save. Puck comes up and out of the zone. 32 seconds left on the penalty kill for the Rampage boys. A couple of fresh skaters out on the ice now. Minnesota sends it across. They're going to skate it into the zone, drop it back to the point, and across to the far side. Sawyer Jones gets a boot in the way, keeps the shot from going through. Puck still up at the point now. Minnesota sends it across to the near side point. Shot gets deflected. Holmes turns it aside. Minnesota picks it up on the near side wall. They send it across, off of the stick to the far side. Rampage back at full strength. Little back and forth. Puck's going to come up. Roberts coming out of the penalty box into the play. Sends it in. Goes after it down low in the corner. Minnesota's going to skate it out. Nope, sorry. Stays in the zone. Whitted on the forecheck. Up to the line, and Sarver grabs it just outside the blue line. So we get a whistle for offsides. Offsides. He's out on the ice. Sarver, Whitted, Drexel, Espirito, and Wheeler. Back and forth, tied up on the face-off. It's anybody's puck. And Drexel's going to come up with it, gets it on his stick. He's in the zone. Dumps it for Wheeler. Wheeler sends it, goes off of the stick and out of play, I guess. I lost sight of the puck, but it appears to have gone out of play. Face-off at the Minnesota zone on the far side. Same crew out as before. 9 minutes and 11 seconds left in the game. Rampage down 5-2. Rampage win the draw. Sarver up to Wheeler, over to Espirito. Dump it in down low, and the puck comes up to neutral ice now. Minnesota's going to turn and dump it into the zone. Holmes holds it. Wheeler gets there. He chips it across to the far side. Centering pass. The puck is in the paint. Ends up back in the corner. Wheeler throws it up to Sarver. He turns, sends it across to Drexel. Looks like we got a penalty coming, so Holmes is coming out to add an extra skater, and we get a stoppage. So I believe that's a hooking call, but it's one of the weirdest, most aggressively high hooking signals that I've seen. So 8:37 left in the game. Rampage are going to be on the power play. Out on the ice, we've got Roberts, Whittingham, Gudanis, Merrill, and Wilton, I think. Rampage win the draw up to Gudanis. He skates the blue line, sends it over to Merrill. Merrill feeds it through, just doesn't connect on the pass on the back door. Puck comes up but not out. Gudanis holds it in the zone momentarily, and now Minnesota has it back. They're going to skate it out of the zone. Whittingham picks it up. He's out of the zone with it. Gudanis kicks it off the wall. Roberts picks it up. Sends it to the far side to Gudanis. to Whittingham to Wilton. Wilton into the zone, makes a quick little move, drops it for Gudonis. Now the puck is back in the Rampage zone. On the wall, Gudonis is going to get there. He turns around for Roberts. Roberts picks it up back by his own net. Minute and 10 left on the power play. Gudonis skates it out from behind the net, makes a quick move. He's out of the zone, through neutral ice with it, dumps it to the far side where Wilton's going to go give chase. Puck out to the far wall. Whittingham's going to shovel it back down again. Roberts pulls it out, tries to center. Nobody home. Minnesota sends it to the near side wall. Takes a weird bounce, comes off the wall, and now Minnesota's going to send it the distance. So we get an icing call. Faceoff will be back in the Minnesota zone with 38 seconds left. A power play time for the Rampage boys. Out on the ice, we've got Sarver, Drexel, Whitted, Espirito, and Wheeler. Rampage win the draw, send it up, split the defenseman, and out of the zone. So Wheeler has to come back to his own zone to get it. Makes a quick move with it. He's going to skate through neutral into the Minnesota zone. Skates down low with it, centering pass attempt. Puck bounces up and ends up behind the net. Drexel picks it up down low in the corner, feeds it up to Espirito, over to Sarver. Sarver sends it down low to Drexel. Drexel tries to turn. He gets pinned in the corner. Sarver's there to help him out. Minnesota player coming out of the box. Puck comes out to neutral. Espirito sends it over to Drexel. Drexel across to Whitted. He deflects it up and into the zone. Johnny Sarver gets there first. He ties it up in the corner. Whitted's down there as well. Tries to feed it back to Sarver. Puck comes out, and Minnesota has it on their stick now. Send it off the glass, out of the zone, into the Rampage zone now with it. Huff ties up a man up against the far wall. Whitted's there to pick it up. Backhands it, and then now he picks it up. He's going to skate it out of the zone. Whitted sends it in just wide of the net. It's going to come out to the near side. Bisley's there, sends it around the boards to the far side. Rampage going for a change. Minnesota has it. Still in the zone, though. They're going to send it up off the glass and out. Huff has to knock it down, wrangle it in. He sends it across to the near side. Bisley gets there. And then Minnesota's going to send it back in, and they are offside. This is 5:34 left in the game. Scores 5-2. Faceoff will be just outside the Rampage zone. Out on the ice, we've got Jones, Bender, King, Merrill, and Gudonis. Rampage win the draw. Gudonis picks it up. He's going to skate through neutral up to Jones. Jones is into the zone. Tries a centering pass. Minnesota picks that one off. They've got the puck back skating out of the zone. Across the red line into the Rampage zone with it. Jones gets there. Takes an elbow to the head. King gets it, turns, sends it up and off the boards out to neutral where Minnesota's going to have to tag up. Back into the Rampage zone with it. Merrill ties up a player. Puck comes off the wall. Gudonis has it. He's going to send it across to the far side and into the Minnesota zone. Whittingham picks it up. Out of the zone. Minnesota turns around, fires in. They're offsides. They're going to send the face off to center ice. 4:45 left in the game. Score still 5-2. Out on the ice, we've got Nick Wilton, Zach Roberts, Jack Whittingham, Alex Espirito, and Blaze Wheeler. Rampage win the draw. Back to Espirito. He's going to skate in his own zone, sends it off the boards to Roberts. Minnesota gets a stick on it. They're back into the Rampage zone with it. Shot taken, and Holmes has it in his glove. .432 left in the game. Score is 5-2 in favor of the Minnesota Blue Ox. Tied up on the draw. Puck ends up down in the corner. Blaze Wheeler picks it up. He skates out to the near side. Far side to Roberts. Roberts into the zone, puts a shot on goal. Whittingham is there for the rebound and just fires it up and over. That's the best opportunity we've had in a little while. Puck in the zone. Minnesota with it now, skates it up and out, sends it across to the far side. Into the Rampage zone with it. Blaze Wheeler takes the puck away. He feeds it back behind the net. Espirito turns it back the other way. Comes up to Nick Wilton, who feeds it to Jack Whittingham. Jack's going to turn and skate with it. He's into the zone, sends it across to Roberts. Gets tied up on his way in. And it goes to a Minnesota player who sends it up but not out. Bazili holds the line. Now Minnesota has it again. Takeaway by Jack Whittingham. Comes in, tries to take a shot. Can't quite get the first shot off. Tries a backhand goal. He makes a save. And on his third attempt, Jack Whittingham picks up his own rebound. And with 3 minutes and 29 seconds left in the game, Jack Whittingham with a goal, making the score 5-3. Out on the ice, we've got Drexel, Whitted, Sarver, Bisley, and Huff. Rampage win the draw, back to Bisley. He's going to chip it in the zone. And that one's going to be icing. So the faceoff comes back into the Rampage zone with 3 minutes and 21 seconds left in the game. Rampage win the draw. The referee gets skates in the way. Whitted comes up with the puck. He's going to skate it out, sends it over towards Drexel, gets deflected into the zone. Puck down low back behind the net. Minnesota's going to send it up to the near side boards. Drexel feeds it in. Goaltender makes a save. Held on the boards, but Johnny Sarver still in the zone. Tied up. Whitted and Drexel are both in there to help out. Puck comes up and out of the zone. Gudanis has to pick it up, take it away, turn it back around again to Sarver. Little back and forth. And now Minnesota's going to dump it into the Rampage zone. Ian Merrill goes back after it. Feeds it up the boards to Drexel. Comes off, out of the zone. Was out of the zone. Takes the ref a little while to get his whistle to his mouth and blow that one. 2:23 left in the game. Scores 5-3 in favor of the Minnesota Blue Ox. Out on the ice, we've got Nick Wilton, Jack Whittingham, Zach Roberts, Alex Espirito, and Blaze Wheeler. Rampage win the draw. Espirito over to Wheeler. Back to Espirito. He feeds it over to Nick Wilton, who's in the zone with it. Still in the zone. Espirito holds at the blue line. Wilton over towards Whittingham. Wheeler holds the blue line, keeps the puck in the Minnesota zone. Nick Wilton doing battle down low, ties up a player. Minnesota feed it up. They're out of the zone with it now. Into the Rampage zone. They rim it hard around the boards to the far side. Dump it back in again. Takes a weird bounce off the dasher board. Minnesota picks it up. Rampage boys looking tired. Shot on goal, and Holmes has it. He's going to hang on. 1 minute, 30 seconds left in the game. And we've got a timeout. All right, out on the ice, we've got Bisley, Wheeler, Whitted, Drexel, and Sarber. Rampage win the draw. Wheeler's got to get there. Sends it around the boards to Drexel on the far side. Sends it up and out of the zone. Minnesota turn it back around. Dump it back in. Wheeler's got to get there on the far corner. He's got a couple of Minnesota players on him. Puck comes up to Whitted. Skating out of the zone with it. Brings it into the zone. Gets pretty well interfered with. No call. Play continues. Minnesota sends it back. The distance. Gudanis comes in. Has to pick it up back behind his own net. Sends it across to Wheeler on the far side. Wheeler sends it off of a boot. Bounces back behind the net. Sends it up to Whitted at center. He's into the zone with it. Whitted makes a move, takes a shot. I think it went off the goaltender into the far side there. Minnesota sends it up and out. Gudanis is going to wrangle it back in. Rampage playing empty net now. Whittingham has the puck into the zone, feeds it over. Drexel's got to go after it down low. Rampage with 6 skaters on the ice. Tied up down low against the wall. Just 10 seconds left in the game. And Minnesota sends it the distance. It goes wide of the net. We get a really quick icing whistle, which was helpful for us because there's only about 3 seconds left. Basically just enough time for a face-off and hopefully quick shot. So out on the ice we've got Whittingham, Drexel, Roberts, Gudanis, Merrill, and Wilton, I believe. Rampage win the draw, and Gudanis takes a shot right before the buzzer. Goaltender makes a save, and that'll do it for the game. So your score after 3 is 5-3 in favor of the Minnesota Blue Ox. Rampage boys go 0-3 so far, the first 3 games. Now, to be fair, at the beginning of the third, I did ask to see the Rampage win the third period, which they did. So we had 1 goal, Minnesota had no goals in the third. So the boys battled. They battled hard. Hopefully we'll see everything turn around a little bit. Tomorrow is going to be, that North Dakota team is going to be the toughest team that we play against this weekend. So we do need to get geared up for that and ready to go. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow at, I believe it's 12:15 Central is our game tomorrow. Yeah, 12:15 Central for our game tomorrow against Team North Dakota.